Welcome back, my friends. Today I wanted to talk about something. It is about a shiny gold watch. The company gave it to me 5 years ago, on the day I retired. They held a little party in the break room. There was some cheap cake, a few handshakes, and my boss smiled. He said, "Thank you for 40 years of hard work, Arthur." And then, at 5 o'clock, I walked out of that building for the last time. I drove home, sat down at my kitchen table, and just stared into space. I had that watch in my hand, but I didn't feel proud. I just felt an incredible, heavy sadness. I realized that 40 years of my life had been traded for a piece of gold-plated metal. 40 years of waking up early, rushing out the door, and stressing over deadlines. I gave that company my best years, my highest energy, and my sharpest focus. And as I sat in my quiet house, a terrifying question popped into my head. If I gave all my best time to a company that replaced me by next Monday, what did I leave for the people who actually loved me? I left them the scraps, the tired, grumpy, and exhausted version of myself. And that is a mistake that still breaks my heart every single day. When you are young, you think you are building a kingdom. You think every late night at the office is a victory. But when the building empties out, you are left with nothing but a quiet room. You look at the walls and wonder who you really are without a job title. The truth is, 40 years went by like a single flash of lightning, and a gold watch cannot buy back a single missed minute. When you are young and trying to build a career, you tell yourself a big lie. You tell yourself, "I am doing this for my family. I need to work these extra hours so we can have a safer neighborhood. I need to take this business trip so I can afford a better school." But if I am being completely honest with you, it was just an excuse. I was chasing status and money. I would leave the house before my daughter even woke up. I would drive to the office in the dark, drink too much coffee, and stare at papers all day. By the time I got home, it was dark again. My wife would have dinner ready, but my mind was still at the office. I was physically sitting at the table, but I wasn't really there. I was thinking about tomorrow's meetings. I was checking my emails in my head. My little girl would bring me a drawing she made at school. She would say, "Look, Daddy, look what I drew for you." And I would just nod, smile quickly, and say, "That's nice, sweetheart. But Daddy has to work right now. Go play in the other room." I can still remember the disappointment in her small eyes when I said that. I tanked her childhood because I thought providing a roof over her head was enough. I thought buying her nice toys for Christmas made up for everything. But children don't care about your bank account. They don't care about your job title. They just want your time. They want you to sit on the floor and play with them. They want you to listen to their stories. And I traded those priceless moments for extra shifts at a corporate desk. I thought I was being a good provider, but I was just being absent. And you can never get that sweet childhood back. The most brutal thing about time is how quietly it passes. You think you have 20 years of childhood to enjoy, but you don't. Childhood is just a handful of summers, and then it's over. One day I woke up, and my daughter wasn't a little girl anymore. She was 18. She was packing her boxes, getting ready to move across the country for college. I stood in her empty bedroom, looking at the bare walls, and a wave of regret hit me so hard I could barely breathe. I started remembering all the school plays I missed because of late meetings. I remembered the weekends I spent working instead of going to the park. I thought, well, I can spend time with her now, but it was too late. She had her own life, her own friends, and her own dreams. She didn't need her daddy to play with her anymore. That bedroom stayed quiet for years, and then 3 years ago, my wife passed away. That was the day the music completely stopped in this house. Now I sit in this big, beautiful house that my corporate salary paid for. It has 4 bedrooms, a nice yard, and a modern kitchen. But it is completely empty. It is just me, my memories, and a lot of quiet hours. I look at the empty chairs, and I realize how foolish I was. I spent 40 years chasing a bigger house, but I ended up with a house that is too big for one lonely old man. I would gladly live in a tiny, one-room shack right now. I would sleep on the floor. I would eat out of a can every day, just to have those noisy, chaotic years back, just to hear my family laughing in the kitchen again. I see the younger generation today doing the exact same thing I did. I see young shadows working late every single night. I see mothers stressing over promotions, looking at their phones during dinner. Everyone is trying to climb some invisible ladder. Everyone wants to get to the top. But let me tell you a secret from someone who reached the top. There is nothing up there. The view from the top of the corporate ladder is just a lonely office and a pile of regrets. Your boss does not love you. Your company will not miss you when you leave. If something happens tomorrow, they will post your job opening before your obituary is printed. They will replace you in a heartbeat. But your family? They can never replace you. To them, you are the only one. Stop giving your best energy to a company and bringing your exhausted, angry scraps home to your family. They deserve the happy version of you. They deserve your laughter, your attention, and your patience. If you have to choose between a higher paycheck and a family dinner, choose the dinner every single time you can. You will never look back at your life and say, I wish I spent more time at the office. But you will look back and wish you held your kids a little longer before they grew up. Don't wait for a gold watch at 75 to realize what was actually valuable. The real wealth of your life is sitting right next to you at the dinner table. Please protect that time. Treat it like it is worth millions of dollars, because it is. Once those years are gone, no amount of money in the world can bring them back. The day is getting late now, my friends. The day is coming to an end, and it's time for this old man to rest. But before I go, I want you to remember something important. Life is not a race to see how much money you can leave in a bank. It is a collection of small moments with the people who call you dad, or mom, or friend. If you are watching this, and your kids are still small, please do me a favor tonight. When you walk through your front door, leave your phone in your coat pocket. Don't check your stressful work emails. Just look at your children, give them a big hug, and tell them how much you love them. Sit down on the floor and play that silly game they always ask you to play. Listen to their laughter, because that sound is more valuable than any corporate bonus. And to my sweet wife up in heaven, I am so sorry I missed so many dinners, sweetheart. I am taking care of myself down here, just like you always asked me to. Thank you all for sharing your precious time with me today. It means a lot to an old man to know someone is listening. My grandson says that clicking the subscribe button helps our little community grow. So if you want to join me again next week, please subscribe. I will be right here, waiting for you with another story and a lot of memories. Until then, please take good care of your beautiful families. Give them your best hours, not your exhausted scraps. Good night, my friends, and may God bless each and every one of you tonight.